Sonic Chronicles, The Dark Brotherhood, a game I personally adore, but so many people hate with a burning passion. I don't really understand why, but I can at least agree with them that it wasn't really put together very well and there are a lot of glitches in it. Now, I've discovered a lot myself over so many times I've played it, and I'm going to try to show some of the interesting ones that I've discovered. But by no means is this all the glitches in the game. A lot of them are really unpredictable and can't be performed reliably every single time. And I haven't really dug super deep into the game, so I probably don't even know all that are predictably performable. So yeah, I'm just going to try to show you some, and maybe it'll be interesting, maybe it'll be boring, I don't know. Let's take a look. For our first glitch here, we have what I call the Chaos Rift display failure. Because sometimes when you use Chaos Rift, it'll fail and you won't one-hit KO the enemy. But sometimes you'll actually succeed in one-hit KO the enemy. And then sometimes you'll succeed and it'll say you failed, even though you KO'd the enemy, so that's interesting. For our second glitch here, we have the Voxai character switch, where if you talk to the Voxai citizens that aren't talking to you 3 times, even if it's the same one, then there'll be some dialogue, but then it'll switch you back to Sonic, except it won't switch you back to Sonic, because you can see I'm still Shade by who's selected and on the top screen, but I'm Sonic and I can teleport like Shade can teleport, but I can't dash like Sonic. So you look like Sonic, but you're really whoever you were just playing as. But if you just switch to Sonic, then you can go ahead and be normal again, or whatever, a different character, doesn't matter. For the next glitch, we have disappearing 3D models. So some big models from above will appear to disappear because they're supposed to be unloaded to save on memory, but the programmers didn't really think that through. So it can work with big enemies too, like this gun pawn over here. Just looks like he disappears when you walk away from him from above. Yeah, that's interesting. Next glitch, the Scorpion Runaway glitch. So you can actually get away from certain enemies you're supposed to fight here, like this particular giant scorpion that you're supposed to fight to save this little boy. But if you just hold down left, then you can just get away from him, and now you can just walk around and then walk right through the boy, and no dialogue pops up, and that's kind of strange. This definitely was not intended at all. But yeah, so that doesn't really help. All it does is delay the inevitable, and then you have to fight the scorpions after all. Dreaded scorpions, I hate this fight, it's really annoying. But oh well, that was interesting, wasn't it? For our next glitch, we have the SWAT-bot avoidance glitch. So this SWAT-bot here is supposed to fight the first SWAT-bot battle. In New Game Plus, you can actually avoid it. If you hold to the top right of the screen, you can just run away, but the screen won't scroll. That can be easily fixed by saving and reloading the game, or just going in this building here. And then you can just ignore him, but now he's over here for some reason. I don't know why. If you decide to just fight him immediately, then things will proceed as usual. Or you can just destroy him easily because it's New Game Plus, which is a joke. It's just supposed to make you feel powerful. This is just for fun. And if you destroy him here, then you'll see that dialogue will proceed as normal. They'll talk about how Eggman robots have appeared, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, what the heck? How is this possible? I don't understand it. And yeah, so everything just proceeds as normal. However, if you complete this in Chapter 3 or later, interestingly enough, then you'll get different dialogue. I guess dialogue is loaded differently because you fought him much later than you were supposed to. I don't know why. Instead, Tails will just say he has a bad feeling about this and maybe you should save the game. And he says, let's go. I'm not sure what's up with that. That's very interesting. For our next glitch, we have enemies walking on air. Certain enemies' paths are broken, so that Marauder right there, he's just walking off into who knows where. He's just ditching it, 'cause I'm not going to be here anymore. And it occurs in other areas with different enemies too, such as on the Nagarl colony. That Nagarl is just going its own path, walking away. Look at there he goes, up into the sky and up the wall and who knows where. And there he goes, wow. For our next glitch, we have Plunder Mechanics Error, where Plunder, unlike other status power moves, for some reason will work even though you don't put in any inputs at all. Look, there, didn't do anything. Pow candy, woohoo! That's great, so you just completely ignore the inputs. Well, it might seem that way at least. In actuality, that's not quite true. This is an enraged armadillo, which has a low defense stat, and so you can easily just ignore the inputs and get your loot. But with more agile foes, such as these bees right here, or wasp swarms, rather is what they're officially called, you might actually miss with Plunder, and so there, boom, missed. But you won't always miss, because it is based on their defense stat and your attack stat, so if I use Plunder again, then I can actually succeed in getting some loot from them. There we are, a Pow Candy. So yeah, instead of other status moves being based on success, it's just based on defense. And for our next glitch, we have Psi moves don't work. these overminds are interesting because for some reason, the Psy Slow POW move won't do anything at all. Look here, I'm gonna let it hit me right here, and then it doesn't do anything at all. I mean, it makes a sound from Cream, but it doesn't do any status effect. But Psy Confuse here, when it's used on Knuckles, will go ahead and stun him right there. And then Psy Dazzle, well, Psy Dazzle is a sorry case, because it won't do anything at all. It won't make a sound effect, it won't do any status, it won't do anything. And that's really strange. I'm not sure why that is. Now, I debated with myself for a while whether this was a glitch, or if it was just a quirk that the programmers decided to make two of the POW moves do nothing at all. But when I looked at the Prima official guide, I decided it must be a glitch, because when it talks about the Overmind, it says, each one has its own status effect, including Stun, Sluggish, and Distract. Now, we saw Stun with Psy Confuse, but we never saw Sluggish or Distract with anything. So, I decided that Sluggish must have been intended to be inflicted by Psy Slow, and Distract by Psy Dazzle, but a glitch prevented that from happening. Now, this next glitch here is just annoying. The Nestor quest EXP yield Miscalculation. Now, here I don't have the Relics of the Past or the Argus event quests completed. And if you take a look here at Tails' experience here, just take a look at the number. And then we're going to go ahead and talk to Nestor here and complete both quests at once by giving him the quest items, the tablets, and the Nocturne Relics. And we're going to go ahead and complete both quests, and he'll be like, yeah, thank you, and give us our rewards, including experience. So it gives us 10,000 experience here, and we're going to go ahead and just double check that the quests are completed. So yes, we did complete both the Argus event and the Relics of the Past quests. Now take a look at Tails' experience. Now obviously, of course, we're expecting that it's got 10,000 less, and true enough, 10,000 less experience. But if you go ahead and complete both these quests individually, here, take a look. They're not completed here. I just reset it and took a look at what would happen if we only completed one. Take a look at Tails' experience again. There it is, back to what it was before. Now we're going to talk to him, and we're going to first just do the Relics of the Past. We're going to give him the Relics, and then we're not going to go ahead and give him the tablets at all. Then he gives us 8,000 experience. And go ahead and take a look here at our quest to verify that the Relics of the Past, sure enough, has been completed. There it is. The quest is completed. But the Argus event has not yet been completed. So let's talk to him again and go ahead and complete the Argus event quest. And then he'll say thank you for all those relics, and then he'll give us 10,000 experience. So he just gave us 8,000 and then 10,000. So that's even more experience than when we completed the quests individually. And that's just not fair. What the heck, programmers? What were you thinking? What? But you're going to naturally try to complete both quests. So we just cheated us out of experience. Look, there's less experience. Now for the next glitch here, we have the Shade Freeze-Up glitch. I don't take credit for discovering this, actually. I got it from a different video. I'll go ahead and say what it was in the description. But basically how this works, just bring Sonic towards the lower portion of the path here when you encounter Shade for the first time here. And then something interesting will happen after the dialogue with her. So we just go ahead and skip through the dialogue as fast as we can here. And then you'll see what happens. So Shade is supposed to run towards you, but then she just gets stuck. Going back and forth, and yeah, she's just frozen. And so the game is stuck. You gotta reset the game or you're out of luck. Sorry about that, but this is pretty rare to happen. I never discovered it myself. Now this glitch is pretty interesting, the forced party selection bug. So at certain parts in the game, you're forced to be in a party with one particular other member other than your lead member, and that can actually be bypassed. It's pretty simple. All you have to do is go into your base and then save and reload the game. So I'll go ahead and do that right now, and you'll see that it'll completely rid us of the forced character selection in slot 2. See, there you are. I don't have to select Knuckles. Heck with him. But this can have harmful effects if you do what I did right here. Usually it's not harmful at all, but it can be quite harmful if you don't select Knuckles here in Chapter 5. Because what happens is you're supposed to actually use him. And you'd like to go back and get him, right? But no, you can't go back underground to base once you go above ground. Because Knuckles won't let you. But Knuckles isn't in your party, of course. But you're supposed to be in your party. So if you happen to save your game here and you don't have like a backup save file, you're out of luck. Because if you try to go to where the goal is, to the airship, you can't climb. Because you don't have Knuckles. And there's no way to get Knuckles. So you're completely trapped. Ah! But this does have some pretty cool applications too. And funny, for that matter. Such as in Chapter 10 here, when you're supposed to have Shade along with Knuckles in your party. If you don't have Shade in your party, it's pretty funny what happens later on. So I'm going to go ahead and not select Shade here. Just fill my party with other characters instead. And when you walk up to Ix's palace here, it's pretty funny. Look at this. So, first of all, Knuckles walks over, and then, oh, Shade's here. Look, she's standing right there, and she's talking, and there's no Shade at all. And I just find that pretty funny. I was wondering if you didn't select Shade, if she'd even appear, if it was reliant on whether she's in your party. But no, just a hard-coded cutscene kind of a thing. So that's pretty funny. And yeah, you can just freely play around with that glitch. Now this next glitch is interesting. The Shadow Pursuit glitch. When you chase Shadow after the second fight, your party will do something weird. Did you notice there were 2 Bigs in the party right there? And then look at this. Now there's 2 Rouges and Cream moved up. And then now look at this. In a minute here, go ahead and take a look at what Eggman does. He just fills the party! But there's actually a pattern to this madness. This glitch can be explained by fitting the different characters into categories according to how they act when placed in different party positions. I call the different categories tiers because higher number tiers generally take precedence over lower ones when images of characters are replaced. Amy, Tails, and Knuckles are in tier 1, Rouge, Big, and Cream are in tier 2, and Eggman is the only member of tier 3. Sonic is not included since he is locked in the top position always. The resulting replacement, according to how different tier characters are positioned, is as follows. Alternatively, here's a chart that outlines the result of every single combination of character, according to which tier they're in. But enough of that. You probably didn't want to hear way too detailed explanations about how that glitch works, that I went into way too much detail on. Instead, let's just get to the last glitch, alright? Let's take a look. And now for this final glitch here. This is a pretty fun one, because here's how it works. You have to have 50 slots in your little Chao inventory here taken up, which is, you can accomplish this by having all 40 Chao, and then you have 2 copies of Chao or more of at least 10 of them, and then for each of those ones you have 2 copies or more of, you have a character equipped to them, so another slot's taken up. So here I have a Barbo, and there's another Barbo slot where Eggman is equipped to, and then a Bobo, another Bobo slot where Tails is equipped to the Chao. And so once you have 50 slots in your Chao inventory here, and then you equip another one, then the game's going to freak out, because the programmers didn't expect you to try and do this, because you only ever have 10 characters with you at once, even though there are 11 characters with you throughout the game. Because as soon as Shade joins you, then Eggman leaves you. But Eggman still has equipment equipped to him, because they didn't think to de-equip it from him when he leaves the party. Bit of a mistake there. So anyway, if you equip the final Chao to one you have 2 copies or more of, and so thereby making 50 slots in your Chao inventory here, then the game's going to freeze. Unless you're playing on an emulator, in which case it doesn't freeze, because emulators are great or something, and then instead it just starts freaking out. So you have like a Nocturnus tech here in your Chao inventory, and you scroll up and then back up, and then that's normal, I guess. But then, oh, what? Look at that! What's Tails doing up there? And then you just switch character around, and then, oh, there's two Eggmans, and then you switch it around more, and then you just play around a bit, and then weird stuff happens, and then all the characters disappear from the menu. Also, if you try to scroll over to consumables, and suddenly consumables are Chao too. Ring of Life, yeah, that's a Chao, and it does say no Chao or item selected, but it's in the Chao category, for goodness sake. I don't even know what's going on here. Menu just really is completely busted, and in fact, this is pretty funny. If you go into the Chao garden and then go into your inventory from there, you didn't have any inventory thing you were previously selecting, so it just says nothing at all. No Chao item selected. And also, I think in the background there were like some really weird lines on the scrolling Sonic heads. It looks like. I don't think that was there before. Anyway, if you do this, and your game didn't freeze because you're playing on an emulator, it's really easy to fix. Just select a character, like Eggman probably, and then just equip Chao over them, and then it'll de-equip it from that character, and then you only have 50 slots taken up again. Then you can exit and re-enter the menu, and you scroll back to Chao. The inventory should be working correctly again. And yeah, it's all good, and everything works fine. If you scroll over and scroll back, then everything's just as it was before. I thought that was pretty funny. I totally expected the game to freeze, but apparently on an emulator, then it doesn't. And those are some glitches in Sonic Chronicles. Comment below what you thought. Leave a like if you thought it was interesting. Have a nice day.